Hello Legacy Sabers, and today we're going to look at literal equations. What you're going to want to have around you at this moment, you're going to want to have your notes, a pen or a pencil, and you may need a calculator just for some simple adding and subtracting. Your learning targets for this video: I can isolate a specific variable using mathematical operations. So you're probably saying, well, Miss Marsh, what is a literal equation? You've seen them before, you just didn't know they had a name for them. Literal equations is an equation with more than one variable. You see this all the time in chemistry and in science, geometry. You saw them a whole bunch. Your area formulas, like the one down here. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Area for a triangle, right? And then geometry, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You see that Pythagorean theorem. You see these all the time. You just never knew they had a name for them. Well, what we're going to be doing with literal equations is we're actually going to solve for a specific variable. Let's try a few examples. So on this one, I'm going to solve for r. C equals 2 pi r. That's the circumference formula for a circle, but just kind of bringing that back from geometry. So I need to solve for r. I needed to get him all alone. He needs to be alone. He doesn't play well with others, so I gotta make sure I put him alone. How am I going to get him alone? Oh, I know that this is times, right? 2 times pi times r. So I need to break that multiplication. So I would divide. So I'm going to divide by 2. And why can't I just divide by pi at the same time? It's just a number. 2 pi is 6.28 something, right? Double 3.14. So, but if I divide 2 pi on that side, I better divide by 2 pi over here. So 2 pi divided by 2 pi, that's just 1. So I would be left with just r over there, and then c over 2 pi over there. R is all alone. I solved for him. That means my question is done. I found what r is equal to. R is equal to the circumference divided by 2 pi. Let's try another example. So I need to solve for x into this equation, y equals 3/4 x plus b. So notice how it's a b. I gotta get x alone. So I gotta get rid of that plus b. It's kind of hanging out there. I need to move him. So if we add it by b, I gotta subtract b. So let's subtract b from both sides. So I got y minus b equals 3/4 x. X is almost alone. I just have that 3/4 hanging out. So that'll be 3/4 times x. So I gotta undo multiplication, division. Dividing by a fraction, though, is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, or the flipped version of the fraction, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides. Notice, I'm putting this entire side on the left in parentheses because you need to make sure you multiply the entire side by 4/3. So 3/4 times 4/3, well, that's 12 over 12, which is equal to 1. So they actually kind of cancel each other out. So I'm left with just an x over here. And I got 4/3 y minus b over there. Now, I will accept this as an answer. I will also accept that as an answer. So distributing that 4/3 in. Whichever one works for you. Sometimes we will do distributive property if we need to solve further. Sometimes we won't. Let's solve for y on this one. So very first thing, let's get that x out of the way. So it's added, it has addition right now, so let's subtract it from both sides. Cancels out those guys, it gives me 0. So I'll be 3y equals negative 8x plus 48. What am I going to do now? Well, gotta get y alone. Divide by 3, right? You guys have done this to solve for y equals mx plus b form. So I'll get negative 8/3 x plus 48 divided by 3, that's 16. So notice how I divided both of these by 3. That is because I noticed 48 and 3, they divide into each other. So always check to see when you divide, does the number divide in? If so, you should. It's going to make it look a little simpler. Let's try a little harder problem now. We're going to solve for r. P equals 2 pi r plus 2x. So I got to solve for r, so I'm just going to kind of circle him right now. There we go. Let's get rid of that 2x because he's just kind of hanging out. So let's subtract 2x. So I'm going to be left with p minus 2x equals 2 pi r. I gotta get rid of, I'm still solving for r, right? So just kind of like that first one when we did the circumference. Let's divide by 2 pi. Okay, so I'm going to be p minus 2x all over 2 pi equals r. I will accept that as an answer. Okay? You might see it written like this though. P over 2 pi minus x over pi. Why? Why am I writing it like that? Well, I have a 2 here, right? And a 2 there. Those can cancel out. So I still have a 2 over here, but I can cancel out the 2's over here, leaving with x over pi. Am I okay with you guys leaving it in this form? Yes. It's a little bit more messy, but it's okay. I solved for r. I'll be able to plug in my p and my x in no time. Now let's do our last problem here. We're going to solve for a. So I got a times b plus 8 divided by 12 equals c. So I got to undo that division by 12. So multiply both sides by 12, I think. So 12 divided by 12 is 1, so that cancels out. I'm going to get ab plus 8 equals 12c. Let's get rid of this plus 8. So let's subtract 8 from both sides. So I'm going to get AB equals 12C minus 8. I want A alone. So I got A times B, so I'm going to divide by B. Get him out of there. Now, you could write this as... But I personally feel that this one's a little cleaner to look at. Whichever one, I will accept both of those answers. It saves you an extra step if you don't do that otherwise. And that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.